Or even if they're detained, you can use it. Remember, detained is not arrested. So it's pretty much just giving them a ticket or a warning is what you're going to throw. Once you're kind of, if they're cooperating and the scene's about to be cleared, you're going to give them a warning or the ticket, and you're going to hand them the citation. How I do it, because the macro's kind of far down, I'll say, hey, while I'm going to give you a citation. It's going to take me about 30 seconds to fill it out. So while I'm saying that, I'm kind of scrolling all the way down to the macros to give myself time. And then once you throw that macro, you're going to tell them to do signs to sign it. Yep, it should be just like that. And pink. So if you guys pay attention, the slashes are different. So like slash me are the green ones. Me is like, I'm giving you an order, like turn off the vehicle, or put your weapons away. It's me telling you to do something. The pink, the slash do, is more like of an action. Like you're actually doing something. The blue is the police radio chat. So no one else can see that but PD. The public cannot see it, and white is just for everybody. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Any questions? So this macro, it has come to my knowledge that this macro is actually a requirement. So let's just say you're doing a traffic stop and dispatch says, hey, they're wanted. You actually do have to throw this macro. Or if you're doing a wanted mission, you have to tell them that they have a warrant. It's not like real life where you can just kind of swarm in and arrest them. You have to tell them that they have violations. So traffic stop or a wanted mission, this is what you're going to throw up to let them know that they're wanted. I always say this is an iffy macro because if they see that, they're going to take off a lot of the times. They may not. There's very few people who may not, but some of these macros are just a little aggressive for me. I'm the nice one. All right, drop, put the weapon away. One state police or force will be used. So a lot of times they like to walk around with their weapons out. This is not an open carry state. They cannot legally do that. Even if it's not a green zone, you can't just walk around with your gun out. So that's the macro you're going to throw if you're telling them to put the weapon away. You're going to see a lot of us with custom macros that don't look like that. It's going to say that in different words, but that's just a general one you're going to use to tell them to put the weapons away. So this is the macro, the first final warning. Leave the area now. Recharge with the 1.7 and the 3.2. This is a green zone, not a chill zone. Leave now. So HP, hands, a lot of the areas that are actual green zones, if you guys look, I probably know. I don't know why I'm explaining this. Because y'all know what green zones are, duh. So green zones, you're not supposed to just chill out. Now, if people are just chilling out at HP and the nurses and doctors are cool with it, we're cool with it. Like, okay, whatever. If they're not doing nothing at hands, fine, whatever. But when they start to get doing too much, they have to go. So this is the first and final warning that they get. Now, depending on where we are, we'll start a countdown before we can make an arrest, or we'll start a countdown before we call admin. So if that warning is started, we start the countdown, just know one of them is going to have either an arrest or admin's on the way. But after that, that's the last warning that you have to give. You can either, green zone, you have to tase. No guns in the green zone as of now. I'm not sure if you guys do something different since you guys are in other factions, but they took the pistols away in the green zone, so we can only have tasers now. Any questions?
No.
What about that macro?
Shut the car off, drop the keys out the window for me, please. So, yeah, that one. That's kind of a role play thing too. Like if you're in pursuit or they're wanted, you're going to tell them to shut the car off and so they can throw the keys out of the window. Some people will role play with it correctly. Some people won't. They're just going to keep driving. It's up to you. It's not a requirement. You can use it. You know, if you want role play, you can, but it's not a requirement.
Okay.
At least I don't think. I've never used it. Have you?
Yeah, I mean, like if you're technically wanting to role play it, like let's say you're on a traffic stop and then you have their information, you run it, and then like let's say it comes back as they are wanted. The way that you could technically do that is you could say you have warrants for your arrest, no sudden movements, please. Shut the car off, drop the keys, and throw them out the window for me, please. And at that point, they're gonna either run or they're gonna listen to you. But 90% of the time, you don't ever really use that one. But like she had stated earlier, it's kind of like depending on who it is and how they're going to role play.
All right. Hi. All right. So we are finished with macros. Next is violations. You guys see that badge in the middle of the 4 squares and a little icon next to it? You guys see the badge?
Right above your run icon.
Yeah, that.
Yes.
All right. Hit that badge. It's gonna open a box. It's gonna say violations, and the next step you should X. You guys see it?
Yes.
All right, hit that book. All right, so you need to know where that is at all times. This is how you're gonna put charges on them. We're gonna go over that so you guys can follow along and just keep it up so you guys can look at the numbers. So the first one.
that it's a long process, but like I do appreciate y'all's patience because this is like the longest part of the interview and technically all
It
here.
is.
So once we get done with this, it goes so much faster after this.
Yeah. So the first one is a 1.1. Capture state institutions.
The best way to explain that is capture of a state institution is if, say, somebody went into the hospital and tried to take over the hospital, or if somebody came to PD trying to bust hostage in a PD type situation. That's them trying to take power of our building, which is a state building, and that would be them trying to just basically like capture the state institution.
Next one is a 1.2, taking power by force.
Taking power by force is basically, in my eyes, it's kind of like abuse of power, or like, let's say Bree is over there not doing anything wrong. I approach her, we interact, she has a warrant for her arrest, and she's actually abiding the law. And I go up to her with guns, tasers, shoot her, or something like that. Like, that would be taking power by force.
A 1.3 is taking hostages or kidnapping. Pretty self-explanatory.
Yes, and what you're going to see with that is somebody's going to do like the slash try kidnaps Bree. It says success, that is trying to take capture of a hostage or kidnapping situation.
1.4 is a fatal collision with a pedestrian.
Basically running someone over with a car and killing them.
1.5 is attempted theft.
It's also going to be the same thing, like I stated earlier, but the slash try. Let's say I did slash try, steals Bree's wallet out of her purse. If it's success or fail, that is attempted theft. So if it failed, they still attempted it, so you can arrest them on the attempted theft.
One 1.6 is robbery of a police officer.
Let's say I try to approach her and I said, you know what, I'm going to steal your taser, or I did the slash thing, taking a taser. Like, that is robbery of a police officer.
Sorry. 1.7 is uncoordinated entry into a state building or something like that.
Yeah, so basically 1.7, just like it is in the final must leave macro at 1.7, 3.2. 1.7 is, hey, you are asked not to be here, so please leave. You failed to do so. You're now in violation of a 1.7.
So it's kind of like the green zone macros where we're giving them the first final warning with the green zone. That's why it says, or you will be charged with the 1.7. So that's pretty much what that is. A 1.8 is collision with a pedestrian.
Basically the same thing as the other one, hitting somebody, striking somebody with your vehicle, but non-lethal, so they do not die, just running somebody over, kind of like a hit and run situation.
A 1.9 is discharging a weapon in a public place. This is a tricky charge. I can argue that.
Basically what I'm doing right here, or doing that right there. That is obviously discharging a firearm or having it out in a public place that you're not supposed to have it.
A lot of gangs will argue with you, which technically their argument is valid if we want to be technical. So if they're walking down the street with their guns, it's been argued that you can charge them with the 1.9 because that's technically discharging. Discharging does not mean shooting. So I don't know how they really wanted that charge because discharging is just having it out. Now, if they mean actual, I don't know. That's a tricky charge. Honestly.
I personally wouldn't get into it if I was not you. If they don't actually like pull the trigger and a bullet doesn't fly out of the chamber, I technically wouldn't try to get into it because you'll probably cause more issues for yourself.
Yeah. A 1.10 is bribing a police officer.
Hey, I give you fresh donuts if you let me out of jail.
Pretty much, yeah. You'd be surprised, especially you, China. A lot of the boys, male inmates, they're gonna offer you stuff. Like, hey, if I'll send you 200K if you let me out.
Or you'll have the complete opposite. Since we're speaking on females, I've actually had a male officer and a female officer tell me like they would give me sexual stuff for releasing them, which is obviously a
Oh wow. 1.11 murder of a civilian or police officer. Pretty self-explanatory.
Bang bang, you died.
So a lot of those charges are criminal violations. I don't even want to get into that because a lot of times a state will charge them with something like that. But if you witness it and the state doesn't, or let's just say me and Cordell together and they murder Cordell, I could charge them with a 1.11. Does that make sense? Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So a 1.12 is assault of a police officer. So pretty much what we do to each other all day. Yeah, that. So anytime they punch you or something like that, you can technically charge them with a 1.12. And those were your criminal violations. So when you guys learn how to place violations on people, you will know. You'll learn that they're separate. So you have to, how I remember is one is criminal. Anything with the one is going to be a criminal violation. That's how I taught myself. But criminal is first.
Quick question.
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So before we handcuff them, what macro do we need to put up?
Nothing.
Okay.
And the reason being is because, like, let's say if I'm standing here and I'm talking to you and you're sitting there and you're insulting me, but you're in close range, I can technically just have a conversation with you like, hey, sir, please don't do that. Hey, ma'am, please don't do that. I can also be putting you in handcuffs at the same time. But once you get them put in handcuffs, you either have to threat they're being detained or they're being arrested.
Okay.
So the next violations are civil. I remember this. One is criminal, 2 is civil. So anything starting with a 2 is going to be a civil. But 2.1 is damage or harm or damage to state property.
And that is going to be basically someone rams your car, rams the side of it. your state property, stuff like that.
So 2.2 is harm or damage to private property.
This is going to be basically anything that you own privately, your personal cars, your house, your apartment, stuff like that. Anything that is owned by a civilian, not the state.
2.3 are false calls to PD or HP.
Basically self-explanatory. If someone calls in and says, hey, we have a hostage situation going on at HP, and it's a false call, basically you could charge whoever posted that or made the 911 call, charge them with that charge.
2.4 is debauchery.
This one's kind of tricky in a way. I'm gonna let you explain this one.
So just say we're on the first floor and somebody comes in and they're playing music. So we could, after we tell them to turn off the music and they don't, we can charge them with a 2.4. That's pretty much how that goes. Now,
I mean,
this is where it differs. So let's just say you do arrest them and put them in the cell and they're still playing music. You can no longer charge them. This is where admin comes in. So once they are behind those cells, you cannot put any more charges on them. You have to contact admin.
and I guess another best way to describe a charge would be like IRL. That would be considered disorderly conduct.
Yeah, it's also spitting in somebody's face, which could technically be assault too. But
Right.
yeah. So if someone makes that spitting noise or even write it in like that pink, I don't know how they'll write it, but they hop to them.
The hot two is spitting on the thing or something else.
Yeah, you can charge them with that. So a 2.5 are murder threats. Ain't that murder threats?
Yeah, 2.5 is going to be murder threats are going to be like, let's say you have somebody in the back of your car, bring them to PD, they're in custody, like you've already did everything. And they're like, I'm going to fucking kill you when I leave, when I get out. There you go, 2.5.
2.6, I love this one because I just love
Yeah,
it.
that's our favorite. You can just call it, this is just favorite.
This is my favorite one to put on somebody. The 2.6 is insulting a state employee, so EMS or us. So a lot of times if we handcuff, so if we have them in custody on the way back, they'll start throwing insults. On our way back, and they just be like, F you. I get called the B word a lot. Start throwing a 2.6.
Point.
Every insult they do is a separate charge. So technically you can only add up to 6 charges, but this is when the teamwork comes in. In Cordell in the car, that's 12 charges. Just for one at 2.6. So I do not go back and forth with people. I'll kind of laugh sometimes. And I was like, okay. I let them talk because I want to keep throwing charges on you. Yep, you're going to keep getting 2.6s.
Another thing that I do is like if I'm driving and I'm heading over here and they start insulting me or whatever, I'll be like, I'll type it in chat 2.6. And if they keep on and keep on and keep on, I'll just use my mic and be like additional charge.
Sometimes I even say thank you. I'm a smart ass, but I like thanks. Oh, sorry. 2.7, extortion. Sorry, I have to think about it. 2.7 is extortion.
I feel
So
like
pretty much
extortion
like-
would be. You go ahead.
It's kind of like bribing. It is, but so it's kind of like blackmailing, I guess. So, or you're gonna extort some, like, I don't know. Like, you guys know what extortion is? Like, I don't know how to put it. Like,
Hold on, give me a second.
oh, good, Rogue's in here. So it's like,
It's going up to like a business manager and saying, "Hey, I have this information on you." It's kind of like blackmail, but a little bit for services instead of money.
that's true.
Kind of like politicians and Fortune 500 companies.
I mean, it could also be
Yeah,
like I could walk up to Rogue and be like, "Oh, I was seeing you was off duty the other day. I said you broke this law. You did that, and I got the proof, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that." That was like another time of it.
I do want you to know that we can barely hear you.
I'm sorry. Just move past it.
Yeah, okay, now we can hear you.
The cat had my tongue. It's okay. We can move past it. But basically, it's just like robbery, or not robbery, blackmail.
All right, so remember, that was it for the twos. 1 is criminal, 2 is civil. Next one, it's only 3 of them, so it's not on the list. 3 is going to be administrative. So just remember, try to remember those. Even if you don't remember like the exact charges, anything starting with the 1 is going to be criminal.
I got
So-
extortion.
So, administrative at 3.1 is resisting arrest.
Basically, self-explanatory. I'm trying to arrest you. I'm trying to it's more difficult for me to arrest you. That would be resisting.
Can't hear you, but at 3.2, disobeying a police officer.
3.2 being a disobeying of a police officer is if I asked you to do something and you obviously disobeyed me.
Pretty much. A 3.3 is aiding the resisting of an arrest.
This one in 3.1 is basically kind of in the same, in my opinion. But, just making it more difficult to make the arrest.
3.4 is violation of traffic rules, which this is kind of hard to do unless they're intentionally doing it.
I mean, you can catch them for like, I mean, nobody really role plays it this way, but if people run red lights or hit traffic cones or traffic lights or bumps another car or speeds, like that'd be all traffic violations.
Yeah, running a red light, stop signs, hitting poles, or yeah, something like that. Just regular traffic stops like in real life. Three 3.5 is assault. Can't even talk. Is assault on a civilian.
There's not a civilian here for me to hit, but if I was a civilian and she hit me, there's assault. Not pepper.
So yeah, just like hitting somebody on a. That could almost go with the fight in progress. That would be assault. So 3.6 is refusal to present documents.
Basically, whenever you do a traffic stop or if you're interacting with any civilian and you ask for documentation and they refuse to give you the documentation, that would be 3.6.
Yep, and that's pretty much that's it for all the charges. You guys do not have to memorize those. I do not have them memorized. I always triple check when I'm putting charges on somebody. I don't play like that because I'll never want to put the wrong charge on somebody. Even if I know what it is, I'm still going to go back to the list and to verify myself. So once
And
you
it makes
have
it
them in
really
hand,
easy to. It makes it really easy to like just go back to the book as well, because sometimes when you're putting charges on people and they're in the back of the car and they're just talking and they won't stop talking, it'll really confuse you. Like there's some times I've charged people for 1.7 and a 3.2, which most people know what that is, but I have to go back to the book because I'm like, okay, all I can hear is them talking.
yeah. I always, the only one that I really don't question myself is the refusal to present documentation because that's pretty clear. But everything else, I triple check myself to cover myself. Even if I already know. I have a screenshot on my other device so I can pull it up. Anytime I'm putting somebody in handcuffs, it's already up so I can look. Because a lot of those are very, what's the word I'm looking for? Contradictory, I shall say. So you have to make sure you're putting the right ones on somebody. Or
As
you're gonna
well
let them go.
as you're going through the list and looking at it, you can actually tack on extra charges because it's like, oh, they were doing this and they said this and whatever other stuff they may have done within the interaction that you are part in.
Yeah, so don't try to memorize them. Even Ali, I know he still checks his list always just to verify yourself because maybe having a blonde moment and you're like, oh shoot, I put the wrong charge on somebody. So just to cover yourself. Take as long as you need. There's no rush. Only thing you risk is them logging out. But once you put the charges on them and they log out, they go straight to jail when they log back in. That's another reason teamwork is beneficial. So, like, let's just say Rogue put somebody in handcuffs and he's throwing his macros, like the Miranda rights and the pat down. I could already be putting charges on somebody. So, like, if they're at a risk of logging out, if they've done it before and those charges are on them, at least, even if it's just one charge, they're going to go straight to jail. So having a partner is very beneficial because, like, even if all four of us together, we can all do 2.6, 6 times each. So, hey, that's on them.
Okay, so if we accidentally put the wrong charge, what happens?
I've never done it. I don't know.
So technically, if they were to be like if a wrong charge was to be applied, they would actually have to be released from jail because it would be a false arrest.
Yeah. I don't want to say this, but I'm going to say it. So a lot of our charges aren't that long. They're like 10 minutes. So they may not even fight it unless they're super duper smart. You know, but a lot of times they're not even going to fight it because they have get out of jail free cards anyway. So you
And they can use
don't
that.
do it.
Yeah, they can use their get out of jail free cards. 90% of the time you put people in the jail, they're going to get out like immediately after, unless they were put in there by admin. Because then if they use a get out of jail free card, then that's a whole other situation.
Yeah. So, like I said, don't do it intentionally, but a lot of times people won't even fight it because they're going to get out anyway. And then even if they don't have a get out card, it's going to be like 10, 20 minutes. So they just be like, whatever.
Okay.
But try not to do that.
Right.
I've never done that. I have no idea what happens, honestly.
I've actually done that before, and the guy used a get out of jail free card immediately after I charged him, so I didn't really bring it to anybody's attention.
Yeah.
Technically, we would have had to release him.
Hmm. Yeah. But that's it for macros and violations. Wait, I'm just taking that one. Hey, Ro, can you come over here with us so I can get you in the picture? And Lioness too. Thank you. Cordell, you're facing the wrong room. That's fine. Y'all can face that way. That's cute. Wait, no. I was going to say turn up. Hey, that's cute. Okay, I'm staying facing this way. Okay, got it. That's a cute picture. All right, so that was it for macros and violations. Y'all sleepy yet?
Wait, who this?
I've been here since 5.
You can
I
go to
was driving
sleep.
down the interstate halfway through this.
I figured.
I'm always on the
For
interstate.
next 24
So
Yeah,
I have a
sleepy
question
yet?
for all of the new
not.
people.
No, I'm ready.
Do y'all have enough time to do the next brief?
The next one is a tour. Do y'all want to do it?
Sure.
Yeah.
I would
Okay,
say
I'll
get
turn my
tour
mic in.
and